Okay, everyone, welcome to the COVID-19 special, to the contribution call. Um, Today has been something that has been whispering to me for a while, but until the date kind of presented itself as to when we could do this, I wasn't able to get this call out there and together. And then as soon as I got like, this is the day we can do it, because there's enough people that we can get on to create this contribution call. And there's lots of people that had been messaging me and asking for something like this. Today we're here. And so today isn't about what I want to do or what my agenda is. It was actually about getting on a call with some people who are really potent beings like yourselves, and some really potent friends, and the really potent body whisperers and business whisperers in the world, to create a space where we can contribute to each other, where we can contribute to the world, and where we can create a safe space to be what we are being and ask for what we are asking for, and receive any contribution that we may require personally or may be aware of that the world or the planet or the people around us require. And this is a time and a place for us to be that contribution. So, with no other agenda apart from that on my list, today is about connecting and receiving and contributing. And I wanted to actually start on that note because I've talked pretty consistently over the last little bit about how it's normal right now to feel like life is a roller coaster. Some days we're feeling really fantastic and like isolation life is great and that this is exactly what the world needed. And then other days we're like, what the hell is going on? And we're really feeling into everything that we're aware of is happening at so many levels. And so I do want to take a minute to acknowledge the ask that many of us have right now, and the awareness that many of us have as to where we might be headed, but don't necessarily have the words for or the information for. But what can we contribute today to each of us on that journey of evolution that we are in right now? And that's why I specifically asked also certain people. So we've got Amrit from Dubai from Miracles on with us, we've got the Body Whisperers on with us, and I've asked some of my friends to be on this call who are across different modalities or who have varying backgrounds like pretty much all of us do, because this is not about one person or one belief or one point of view, but this is about the greater. And I'd really like to help create and propel us to the greater. And like I've said, to contribute to us receiving the greater, and to contribute to all of us right now, because some of us are doing some heavy lifting right now. Some of us are working pretty hard. And so today I wanted to get on a call with my friends from all over the world, with my clients from all over the world, with the people that I know, that the people that I work with or don't work with, or I might not have met you in person yet. But I wanted to get on this call and create a space for us to have this connection, to have this contribution, to have a space for receiving, and to create a space where maybe we have some conversation around what's required, what's going on for us, how we could help each other. And for me, like I've said, something that is so prevalent is the change, right? It's the constant roller coaster as we go through a different level of awareness each day, or we tap into what's going on out there each day. And for anyone that is feeling disconnected right now, for anyone that is feeling like they're alone right now, that it's scary right now, where they think that this is happening only to them, or they're the only person that feels like they don't know if they're doing this right and if what they're feeling is okay or not. I really wanted to have a moment of connection with all of you and with the planet today, because you're doing it right. This is what we're all experiencing right now. So I am going to just take a few minutes also to ask you to either put into the chat box if you could type what you would like to get out of today. And I'm going to ask Smriti and Amrit and some of the other body whisperers and anyone else that wants to contribute or to say a few words about what they're aware of and what we can contribute to them, but also what they might like to share about what they can contribute to us at this time. So I've got on my screen, I've got Smriti and then I've got Amrit. So I'm going to go in that order. So Smriti, would you like to unmute yourself?
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. I have been aware of a lot of people's, fears, points of views, resistance. Actually, I've been aware of a whole lot of resistance as to how we want this to go away and how it's not a nice thing, etc., etc. And what has really worked for me, and I can only share what's worked for me, is not to resist it at all. In fact, that's how I actually view everything in life. And just keeping my barriers down and just receiving it for what it is. It is what it is. But by my adding, by my resisting it, I'm not helping it one bit. So I use this tool of lowering my barriers. And those barriers are all my points of views about it, my judgments of it, my fear of it, my beliefs about it. So I just put all of that down and I allow it to be whatever it is. And then I ask what is it that I can choose now that will expand my life, that will create a joy in my life, and that will create greater for my life. And so there is no resistance at all in my world. And in the bargain, I am having a blast. So I am using all of this time to study, to keep myself in that place where I feel high on life, where I am what you would call vibrationally, high. Now, so I study a lot. I chant a lot. That's always been my way of life for the last almost 17 years. So that's something that comes naturally to me. So I study a lot. I chant a lot. I do things that I love. So if earlier, not that I don't have busy schedules now, they're crazy busy because I'm facilitating classes, attending classes. And yet I'm making that time, which I save, which I used to use for traveling, to do things that I love, whether it's doing a stretch or dancing or singing. So creating that space in my life, which is ease and joy. Now, as a result, what's occurred is that when I have chosen to be that and be expansive, it has also ended up influencing my friend circle, my home, my staff, and everybody. So I have been inviting everybody to be infectious. So coronavirus has shown us that we are interconnected. And what happens in one part of the world, a decision taken by maybe one person or two people, how it can impact everybody globally, it shows that one person has the power to influence the entire world. So taking from there, I, as that one person who's choosing happiness and no fear, I can infect the entire world as well. So I am choosing to infect the world with joy, with hope, with positivity, with, yay, let's use this to our advantage. And let's grow from here. Let's tap into what is it that my planet requires right now? And how can I contribute to that? So having attended Access classes and heard Gary say it so often, that it's our anger, our judgments that destroy the planet, and it's our laughter and our lightness that heals our planet. So I in this moment and every moment, I'm choosing to be conscious and to choose lightness and to choose laughter. And that way I can be a gift, or I can be a contribution, not just to my Mother Earth, but to my own life and to everybody's life whom I touch on a daily basis through whatever I do. So this is how I have been going about it, Adila, and everybody over here.
I love that, Smree, and I definitely want to get into that a little bit later. Once we've had some conversation and connection, I thought we could do some sort of exercise where we tap into and receive from the planet, from the earth, but also from this virus. And I don't say that to minimize it. Yeah. But what can we receive at this time from this pandemic that is occurring in the world? And what can we receive from coronavirus itself, from COVID-19 itself? What is it that we have been asking for? You know, we have to be so aware, guys, and acknowledge as well, you know, at the beginning of this year, one of my asks for my business, because I travel a lot, or I used to travel a lot, was for 80% of my business, I wanted to move it online so that when I do travel, my face-to-face clients don't get disrupted as much because we're already on an online platform. And here we are, where 90% of my clients are now online. Because that's what is being demanded to be created right now. And so how much, that's just one very small example. And I want to be, because of the field that I work in and that we all work in, most of us are facilitators, healers, practitioners, we work with people. When you work with people, we're aware of everything. So while on one hand and this is the up and down that I've been speaking to, while on one hand we can see the gift and we can even acknowledge the gifts and the energy and the change and the evolution and the information that is coming to us. And then on the other hand, there is, you know, with the people we work with, the awareness that we have of those people who are much more vulnerable than us, those people who are suffering, those people who are already impacted or will be impacted in a way that is really tragic, if I can use that word, whether it's because there will be the loss of lives, or the loss of business, or there's families that are separated, there are people that are stranded, there are people suffering, there is no doubt around that. So when we do a call like this, as Smriti said, it's not that we are discounting that part of what is happening and trying to not look at that and pretending it's not existing. We are instead aware of the fact that for whatever reason, the intelligence that is encompassed in every cell and in every molecule and in nature and in the world has an awareness and has an intelligence and has a way of balancing itself and creating homeostasis when we tilt too far out of balance. And if that is the process that the entire world and the planet is going through right now, one of the only things that can contribute to it is the laughter and the joy and the love that we can still choose every day, despite the sadness and the affliction and the desperation that we're seeing around us. And so we will talk more about that. And we'll talk more about that money and business and stuff in another call next week and other things coming up. But I do want to hear from Amrit right now as well, who's coming to us from Dubai. She is the founder and the director at Miracles Wellness Center in Dubai. So Amrit, welcome to our call.
Hi everyone. Hi Adila. This has been just so great. Like Smriti, thank you for your insights and your experience that you've been having. And I feel like this is such an amazing initiative because I really have been getting a sense that this is needed. Like people need to come together more in a space like this to share and to contribute and to really just have fun and remembering what that is, you know, at a time like this, more so than ever, I think. It's been really interesting here in Dubai, to be honest. And even personally, it's actually been like a journey already. It started off feeling really chilled and nice, and it was amazing because, you know, I live a very busy, hectic lifestyle. So I was like, right, this is great. This is exactly what I need. I need to be in my home, cut off from everyone. And it was really good. I started doing a lot of things where I was really taking care of myself. I was finishing off classes that I hadn't finished, redoing classes that I wanted to do, educating myself, working on myself, and also just looking at things that I had not looked at because I've been so occupied. And so everything was great and wonderful and chilled out. And then slowly, as the world progressed and as things progressed globally, I started to become really aware of all the stuff going on out there. You know, I was feeling the anxiety, I was feeling all that stuff, but I was so also really aware that it just wasn't mine. I was aware of my awareness, if that makes sense. So I think what this really taught me is more so than ever for us to have the ability to relax into whatever is going on, whatever the process is happening, whatever the process it is that we're in. We've got to really find a way that is natural for us to truly relax into that. Because as I was chatting with you the other day, Adila, I find that the more we relax, the more we're able to receive from it. And what I also have been practicing personally a lot is more so than ever, really being in a space without having a point of view about what's happening and what's going on, and just being as neutral as I can be, and just being in a space where I can hold space for all of this. You know what I mean? And just, I'm hearing so many different stories. I have family across the world who are telling me what's going on there. There are people, you know, my team who's going through whatever they're going through. And just everyone is really freaking out a bit right now because this is really a time of change. It's a time of something new. It's a time of change. It's a time of doing things differently. And, you know, change is not always comfortable. And can we find comfort in the uncomfortable is actually, I think, what we're pushed to explore right now. And what would that look like? And really being able to move into a reality beyond this reality. And there's just so much here. There's so many gold nuggets. There's so many jewels here that if we're really willing to look at, we can get so much from. So in a nutshell, I guess that's kind of what's going on in my space. And we're just creating and we're turning miracles into in a more expansive direction. So the creative juices are flowing like never before. And yeah, so it's all happening as it happens. And so we're just trying to be present with it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And there's so many things in that. And
yeah,
guys,
there's just so much stuff.
So I mean, next week I'm doing like the business version of this call. So there's a business creation call on Wednesday. So we might have to get you onto that as well, Amrit, so we can delve more into. Done. I mean, for me as well, guys, like it's been a highly creative time. Highly creative, and I want to leave that till Wednesday's call, so we can talk about business and what your business requires and how we can create at a time like this, because the energy is a new energy. This is a time where you have the ability to recreate yourself, your life, your asks, to recalibrate, and those things that were really not working. And those things that you had been wanting to change and asking to change, but actually didn't have either the guts to change because it seemed like such a massive leap, or you didn't know how to change. Well, there's nothing like a crisis to create change fast, okay? And the really interesting thing about evolution is it's survival of not the fittest, but of the most adaptable. And so in how many ways has your body, your life, your business, your relationships? How many ways have all of those things been asking to change and adapt to a way that is more conducive, to a way that is more productive, to a way that is more creative, to a way that is more of a contribution to you? How much were all of those things in your life asking for change already or anyway? And we still get locked into this pattern or way of thinking where things have to take time, things have to make sense, things have to be incremental, things have to be logical and spaced out and according to a plan. Okay, and then suddenly the world with, in New Zealand, we got 48 hours, goes into complete lockdown. Everything changes. Now, if the whole world is going to change overnight or in 48 hours, if massive countries with populations the size of India are going to completely overhaul the way they can operate on a day-to-day basis, whether it's right or wrong or good or bad, that is, as Amrit and Smriti have both said, that's actually beyond the point. How much can we relax into just receiving and being present with what is? Now, if that much change can occur with corporations and companies and countries that size, then can we not completely overhaul our lives in that same amount of time with that same amount of energy? And so there are many of us that are doing that right now. I'm doing that right now. I know Amrit's doing that right now. We're creating at this time whilst still going through a period that, any way you look at it, is traumatic. Traumatic, but not right or wrong or good or bad. It's just there's a massive amount of change happening in a very short period of time, and the fallout from that, in this reality, the word that is used is going to be traumatic. And if you take the energetic charge off that word and you just allow yourself to realize that when any massive amount of change happens over a short period of time, it is trauma. And it's trauma because we think in our minds that we need time to adapt to things. And so you have the ability now to recognize, okay, that's going on. So there are days that it's going to feel really uncomfortable. There are days that I'm going to feel like not doing anything. There are days I'm just going to want to sit on the couch and watch TV. There are days that I'm going to feel sad maybe because I'm picking up everything from everyone else. And that's okay. And then there are other days where you get to completely recreate your life or your business or what you want to do on the other side of this, or where you want to be, or what your demand is for your financial reality or your relationships or how you show up in the world. Because something that this is creating right now is all of the rules being broken. All of the rules have been broken in the last month. In the last 4 weeks, all of the rules have been broken across nearly every industry. Travel has completely stopped across most regions. You cannot right now, from where I am, fly to the other side of the world. All of these things that used to be normal and average and real and taken for granted have stopped and they've broken down. But it's not a bad thing. It's just different. Now, if that is possible again for things that we thought were well established and were never going to change, if that can come grinding to a halt, then again, like, what is possible for you? And what is possible for your body? And what is possible for the evolution of you or the recreation of you? So before we, there's two things I'd love. First of all, I'd love to hear via message, might be easiest because you're all muted. So if you want to type into the chat box either what's going on for you or what you'd like to contribute to this conversation or what you'd like to receive from this conversation. Something else that I would like to do, for those of you that don't know my background in particular, is for the last 10 years, I've been a holistic practitioner. I've graduated as a chiropractor 10 years ago. So I work with bodies and people. And then I got into my specialist kind of modality is behavioral specialist. So I work with people in changing emotional and physiological and subconscious behaviors. And then for the last 5 or 6 years, actually maybe 7 or 8 years, I've been doing Access, and I've been a facilitator. And so here I am now, and I'm someone who facilitates changes with body and business and basically across any area of our lives. Something I have been acutely aware of, because I still work with a lot of bodies and I have a natural affinity with bodies, is that no matter how much we might feel pretty good up here, and we can get on a call like this and feel pretty okay because we have these tools and we have this information that the rest of the world doesn't necessarily have, our bodies are still going through often a traumatic or a fight or flight or an anxiety experience, as most of us are talking about. And what I would like to do then at this point is just take us through a little exercise to relax our bodies and get our bodies out of fight and flight, open our bodies up to receiving, remind our bodies and our minds that we are safe, because your being knows that you're safe. You, the infinite being, is great right now. You, the infinite being, is just like, woohoo, party time, like massive change, roller coaster ride, massive evolution happening. This is what I came here for. This is why I wanted to be in a body in 2020 on planet Earth. Okay. But our bodies and our minds that are very much entrained into this reality are going through their own experience, because it's picking up on what everyone else is going through. It's had years and years of conditioning. It is a highly sensitive tool and instrument that is currently picking up on what the whole world is going through, and is also connected to the planet and is going through what the planet is experiencing and going through. Okay, so if you would, for a minute, if you'd like to do this, okay. First of all, let's just expand. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, any barriers that you do have up, any resistance that you have, will you just let that go? Will you drop it to the ground? Will you push the barriers down? Will you feel them melt away? And will you allow yourself to know that in this moment and at this time, you are safe. You are safe. You are okay. You are looked after. And anything that you require or desire in this moment will be gifted to you. Okay. Now, if you will just remember that you're connected to the earth, and if you feel that connection to the earth, and feel that thrum of the earth underneath your feet, beneath your body. The earth is thrumming, the earth is breathing, the earth is changing, the earth is healing. All around you, the molecules in the air are changing. They are thrumming. They are receiving and they are contributing. And they are asking what they can contribute to you at this time. If you will just take a nice deep breath in, and as you breathe out, will you do me a favor and just relax your shoulders and drop them far away from your ears? And your next deep breath in, when you breathe in and then breathe out, will you just feel your stomach area relax? Will you take your hands and place them on your face? And will you feel your jaw relax? Open your mouth as wide as you can and close. Open again and close. And then put your hands over your chest and just repeat after me, either in your mind or out loud. I'm okay. I'm safe. I'm okay. I'm safe. We're okay. We're safe. I'm ready to receive. I'm ready to contribute. I asked to be here right now, and I'm ready to receive everything that I've been asking to receive and to contribute everything that I came here to contribute and more. And just take a nice deep breath in again and breathe out. And as you do that, just be aware of all of the infinite energies that are around us, and all of the beings and all of the entities and all of the contributory energies and all of the beings of light and all of the whispers of the land and all of the whispers of your body and all of the whispers of your business. And so no wonder you've had such a busy mind and no wonder your body's been feeling a little bit stressed, because it's been having a lot of information around it, okay? And there's nothing wrong with it, but you're also allowed to be aware of what you're aware of, but have a little break. So it's okay for you to have some quiet time. It's okay to feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, but not have to do anything with it. And it's really, really okay and important for you to know. And the whole point of this call today is to remind you that you're not alone. And so not only do you have all these people on this call, not only do you have us and me and your business and all of those energies that you just tapped into and the earth, you also have a future that is whispering to you and beckoning to you and wanting to create with you right now. And will you hear those whispers? And will you lean into that? And will you contribute to that? And will you contribute to all of us? And so everything that you can contribute right now to the planet, to the earth, to everyone on this call, to everyone listening to this call in the future, to everyone who needs to be on this call but doesn't even know that this call exists, those people that haven't even met us, anyone that is vulnerable, anyone that requires contribution, anyone that is suffering, anyone that is in pain, anyone who feels alone, anyone that is looking for us. Will you please join me in whatever way it feels like to you to contribute to them and send them the energy of love and the energy of gratitude, the energy of safety, the energy of knowing it's going to be okay, the energy of choice, and the energy of contribution. And will you tap into that for yourself and receive as much of that as possible for yourself as well? And just push down any barriers that might be creeping up. Anywhere you might be feeling a tightening in your body again, just let that all go. And stay contributing and receiving. It's okay to receive at a time like this. It's okay for you to feel lucky at a time when other people are suffering. It's okay for you to feel loved at a time when people feel all alone. It's okay for you to make money while everyone around you might be going bankrupt. It's okay for you to feel happy when the world around you is telling you that you should be sad. It's okay for you to be really healthy while the whole world is in fear of a dis-ease. We're here for a reason. And we might not know what that reason is. We might struggle with that reason on different days. On different days, we might feel more okay with it than others. But it doesn't change that truth. And so you are a gift you have these capacities, will you continue to be that gift no matter what? Because then this is how this group of 30 people will take that out into the world and make 300 people feel better, who'll then make 3,000 people feel better, who'll then make 3 million people feel better. Not because we say anything or do anything in particular, but because we own that knowing. And then those other people can have that knowing ignited in them, opened up in them, recognized in them. Okay. Thank you. So, how are we doing? What do you require and desire? What would you like to contribute or receive at this time? Or what would you like to talk about or share? What's possible that we haven't considered? What can we receive from each other, and also from, like I said, what, you know, something that I'm curious about? As much as we talk about and use these words and, you know, talk about receiving and talk about awareness, how much more is possible than what we even think or have defined? Or, you know, like whatever we think is receiving from this situation or from this call, or whatever we think contributing is, or whatever we think is changing, or whatever we think is possible, like how much more than that is there? How much more is there? Like so much that it would absolutely rock us to our very core and take us to the very edge of our limits of when it comes to receiving or changing or evolving or awareness, that we think that it would be too much. But what happens if we step into that area that is too much? What is possible here that is, again, like as Amrit said, what's possible beyond what we think is possible? Like how do we take that from being this abstract concept to actually experiencing that and embodying that and having that as a really as an option, not just as a wishful thought? Okay, questions, comments, queries? What are we up to, guys? What do you require?
If I can just say something with regards to what you just said, I think this is the time really more than ever where we've got to be willing to choose it, you know, because it's our choice that creates our reality. And ultimately, I feel like we've got to be willing to choose it and maybe even really understand what that means to choose, you know, and what our choice creates for us, and be willing to really expand our own limits of who we're willing to be and who we can be. Because I feel like a lot of us are rediscovering parts of us, our capacities that we have had that we haven't acknowledged for a long time. So I think choice is the bridge. I don't know, I just perceive that choice is the bridge to getting us to that place.
Yeah, and I mean, I'd love to, maybe it's on Wednesday we continue this call, but when we talk about business, but like I actually just recorded also a podcast episode talking about how a major awareness I've been having is how right now we really have to be leaders. And I'm using words like we have to be and need to be, and you know, words that normally we don't use because it eliminates choice. But there is a need right now, and the need is for us to step into and experience that which we've been asking to. Yeah, are you going to make that choice? And the choice that I'm aware of is the choice of not waiting anymore to look for that lead or that approval or even that hint of like, yeah, let's go in this direction or let's do it this way. I was talking about this especially in a business sense where, you know, right now there is massive innovation happening across most industries because it's required. But beyond business, for all of us in our lives, like, we need to make that choice to actually step up and have that reality. And we haven't had it before. We don't know what it's going to look like. No one else can tell us what it's going to look like. No one else is even here right now to tell us it's going to be okay and to pat us on the back and validate that choice. Now more than ever before, the requirement for you to make that choice, if you would like to have that, it lies with you. And so with that, you know, that saying, with great power comes great responsibility, like, it's going to be the most awesome thing that's ever happened to you, and it lies with no one else except for you to get yourself there. And so these situations and collaborations like this and conversations like this are created for us to know that we're not the only one experiencing this or going through this, but we still can't take that step or know exactly what it's going to be like for anyone else. That lies on each of our own shoulders to make that leap for ourselves and for our own lives.
Hi, Adila. Wanted to share some. Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. So it has not been a roller coaster ride. However, there have been a lot of ups and downs. So very dynamically, I was choosing not to show up. And that was so much. I mean, I have always been waiting to show up, and I have this fantastic opportunity now, and I am doing everything in my capacity to create situations where I will not I don't have to show up. And then finally I did show up. I started my own 15 days meditation thing. However, what I have observed is I am showing up where I am confident, comfortable, wherein I think I can not predict, but confident. However, there are still areas, as you just said, which are unknown territories. There is a huge possibility, but dynamically, there is a huge resistance to not to show up. So, can you address this energy, or is it just showing up because of what is going on around, or is it that I have to just sort out for myself, which I haven't sorted since long?
No, I always love talking to you, Swami, because again, this is such a thing that's the other part. And I want to talk about this on our call. In the chat, I have just posted the link for the call on Wednesday. It's a free call again like this, but it's with more of a focus on business. It's called the Business Creation Call.
Thank you.
Because I think most of us, whether it's in classes that we take or in the work that we do, I feel like we're in this industry, right? And so for us, showing up in our lives and in every area, I think is very closely related to showing up in our business, because this is the work that we do. And whether it's actually paid or unpaid, or whether you have like a small side business where you do this healing or practitioner or facilitator work, or whether it's your main gig, like me or many of us, this showing up thing has been massive. And I feel like it's like the next level of that is coming up right now for many of us. And I want to acknowledge that energy in that space, because yes, it's absolutely showing up. And I don't think it's just for you, Swami. I think it's been there for all of us, including myself. But the other thing that's been happening is the receiving of this work and the showing up is greater than ever before. So I've had more people respond and reach out and comment on the work that I do and ask for more of the work that I do than ever before. And what's been really interesting is that is a mix of complete strangers from the other side of the world, but also the people right here next to me in my life, the people that I know, the people who until now, you know, I've said to you guys often when I facilitate, I'm like, you know, I don't work with close family and friends because I have the, you know, they're not your easiest clients, they're not who I recommend you work with. And yet right now, those very people, there is this ask and this demand for us to step up right now, and those very people are the people who are looking to us and looking for us at this time. So yeah, absolutely, Swami, like just to get back to your question, this is something that's going on, and no matter how uncomfortable it feels, if you can show up in some small way on the days that it feels really hard, because for me, you know, to be really honest, part of the roller coaster ride has been some days where the last thing I want to do is go and show up on social media. The last thing I want to do is be working, because I'm needing some time to like take a fucking minute and catch up with whatever's going on, right? And yet on the other side of this, there is this, people are looking for us. And so if you can do some small thing each day to show up, or ask your business where or how is it that you could show up today that's required of you, and do that. And then have your big rocks, the things that are really required, like you creating is it 15 days of meditation? Because I did see that. It's really cool.
Yes,
And then
yeah.
the big rocks is like you doing the big, like getting your stuff out there and providing it. And then on the other days, the small rocks might be just putting up a post or connecting with someone or whatever it is. There are other days where it's appropriate for you to do nothing, because that's what you or your body requires or your energy requires. But on the whole, do not pass up this opportunity that we have right now to show up and do the work that we're here to do and change the world. And following on from, you know, what Amrit and I were just saying earlier, is I really feel like the time for that is now. I don't think it's going to look like what we might have thought it was going to look like. I also don't think we can afford to wait. I don't think we can afford to hang around and see how it's going to work and if it's going to work, and do it in a way that feels comfortable and overly secure and overly safe, because the whole world isn't feeling like that right now. How are you going to create your business in a way where you feel safe and feel happy when the whole world is in turmoil? You're a highly intuitive and aware being. You're going to be picking up on that stuff. And your business is part of this reality. It has to be involved in this mashup and matrix, right? And yet, there is a way to still do that. I think, sorry, this is a really long-winded way of saying, I think if we even just do the minimum right now and show up, I think the return on it is going to be massive.
Wow, yeah.
Because I think the world is really asking and has been waiting for this.
Thank you so much for that, because as you were saying, I just realized, I mean, this one thing came up, that the things have changed so dynamically that, I mean, it's not perhaps with my business, but most of us, we don't have a reference point of how it is going to show up. And I just made my world light when I just became aware of this. Oh yeah, I think that's where I'm resisting. There is no reference point of how this is going to show up. And yeah, that's what, you know, is the waiting thing is more of trying to figure out. So I got it. Thank you. Just showing up. Yeah, thank you.
Adila, can I share something? It's a small, it's something that I felt and I did a while back.
Yes, please.
So, yeah. Okay, so I've shared it with you, but I'll share it with everyone. So this is when the lockdown just started, and I was extremely uneasy, and I almost felt like I was floating and I was not grounded. I was buying into everyone's points of views. I was, as much as I was trying to return it, but I was still just so just so uneasy. But I kept asking, who can I contribute to and who can contribute to me? I kept asking that question. And probably it was the second or third or fourth day when, the lockout, I kept getting this urge to go down to the garden. And we were not supposed to go down. We were not supposed to leave our house. But I still did break that rule. And I eventually went down to the garden and I went for a little walk and I kept asking Mother Earth, what can I contribute to you? And I kept looking at everyone in the building and I kept saying, what can I contribute to you? And I got this whole awareness that it's Mother Earth who requires a bit of caring, a bit of touch, a little bit of nurturing at that moment. And I just took the body whispering exercise forward and did something called the earth whispering exercise, where I held Mother Earth in my hands, expanded out, held Mother Earth in my hands, and focused probably for 45 minutes or an hour that I did this earth whispering exercise. I don't know about the earth, but I was super, super happy after that. I was calm, I was at ease, and the entire situation changed for me. And immediately after that, there was a note saying, who would like to volunteer for the building and do work for the building? And I volunteered for that. And the next few days have been so beautiful. It's like Mother Earth contributed to me. I contributed to Mother Earth. Together we contributed to the building, the people of the building. And it was it's a bond that I cannot describe, but it's just been wonderful. And that whole feeling of unease and being ungrounded and where do I belong, it just all went away.
Yeah.
It was it's almost like it's now I feel grounded, though everything is so uncertain around you.
Yeah. That's so beautiful. And I love this about the people that attend the body whispering classes is you guys take this stuff and you run with it and you create like your own, it's so cool. And I was meant to, today's my wedding anniversary. I completely forgot. My husband remembered. I woke up this morning and he was like, happy anniversary. I was like,
happy anniversary.
I was like, it's not today, is it? Happy anniversary. Thank you guys. And then
happy anniversary.
Thank you. So anyway, so it's my anniversary, I forgot, and I was like, I love this work that I do. I love being connected to you guys. And, I'm like, man, it's going to be Easter next week. We're meant to be in Singapore running these classes. And, we've got the classes in India and all of this stuff, right? And there's uncertainty around everything. But then we do these calls for that reason. Because even for me, we do this call, I tap in, you guys tell me this kind of stuff where you're still doing the work, you're still showing up, you're still receiving and gifting to the work and to the planet with it. One of the changes or one of the ways that we're evolving is we're going to do the classes that we're meant to do in Singapore in April, we're going to do in May online. So we're going to do a full 2-day body whispering and a full 2-day business whispering class online. So that the people who are wanting to also do the prereqs to do the advanced classes at the end of the year can still find a way to do those classes. With the whole world changing and people feeling like I don't know what's happening, especially in India. And I guess I'm really connected to, because I have a lot of clients over there and we run a lot of classes over there. Every so often, I feel my body go through something that then I'll find out, this has been happening in India, this is happening over here, blah, blah, blah. For you guys, the contribution that is, Shaista, you doing that, however many people are in your building and however many families and however many kids that are in there that can contribute to, that's what I'm saying, the contribution, that might have helped, I don't know how many individuals, because I don't know how big your building is, but you get what I'm saying? This is why we don't stop, we innovate. at a time like this. And yeah, I want to start wrapping up because we're getting close to the hour, but for those of you that have done body or business whispering classes, use the exercises at this time, exactly like what Shaista just gave you an example of. That's a really good way to do it. In terms of tools, I'm going to go through some tools. I'll ask some of the other speakers to go through some tools. We've had some more people join in. I think Manju's just joined. Manju, someone. Hey Manju, can you hear me? Hi. I'm not sure where in the world he is right now. There's a couple of people that I'd asked from all over the world to be on this call to contribute because they're in different parts of the world and we're all connected, right? And we're all aware of stuff that's going on. But for the tools that I would like to give you for this minute or moment is ask how much you can expand, and can you please be 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times bigger than you thought it was possible to be. Because I would like you to really remember what it's like to be the infinite being that you are, and to go through this experience as the infinite being that you are. Who Does This Belong To has been my best friend for the last 2 weeks. Okay, now with Who Does This Belong To, please remember to say it more than once, more than 3 times. It's a minimum of 3 times. Say it 5 to 10 to 20 times for you to start to feel that it's like that whatever you're going through is lightening up. Okay, and that whatever you need to return to sender is returning to sender. Hey Manju, can you hear me now? Hello. Okay. Hey, how's it going? We can't hear you. I wanted to see if you had anything to contribute, but you can type it into the box because I can't hear you. Yeah. So all of the body whisperers, all of the business whisperers, all of the maestros, all of the theatre healers, all of the practitioners, all of the Reiki masters, everything that you are, everything that you have been in any lifetime, all of the tools that you're aware of that you're not sharing with us right now, and all of the healing that you are capable of that you're just sitting on for yourself, and all of the joy and all of the contribution and all of the healing that you are here to be and share and spread right now. Can I please ask you all if we could just take 30 seconds to do whatever the hell you want to right now to infuse that energy and to recognize it as well. Whatever you've been hiding, even from yourself. You know, if you're on this call, if you're a client, if someone told you about this call, if you thought you'd check it out, you're not here by accident. So would you please just get aware of what you could be aware of that you might not even have been allowing yourself to be aware of? And then would you please take all of that information, all of that contribution, all of that healing from all of those modalities, from all lifetimes, time, spaces, dimensions, abilities that you have, whether or not you think you possess them right now in this lifetime or not, in this body or not, would you please share them with us? Would you please allow them to surface? Would you please allow them to come to the top? Would you please allow them to bubble up from inside you and contribute to the world right now? And would you please claim, own, and acknowledge it for now and for all eternity? That's so beautiful, guys. Thank you so much. Would you keep asking, and would you keep connecting into that energy from yourself as well as from the collective over the next days, weeks, and months? And there might be a certain part of your body, for example, I work a lot with my hands, and so I will feel energy a lot through my hands and through my body. For you, it might be in a certain part of your body, whether it's through your heart area, through your chest, through your hands, or through the soles of your feet down into the earth, through your awareness in your head, or outside of you or inside of you. Whatever awareness you might have received around the capacities that you have and how your body interacts with that capacity, and therefore how you might feel it and be able to tap into it more, would you please ask that to exponentialize as well, and play with that in the coming days and really step into it, tap into it, contribute with it, see what gets created, see what else is possible. Yeah. Okay, that was really beautiful. Thank you so much. That was really, really nice. Yeah, could have kept going with that. Okay. As we start to wrap up, I just want to give people about 20 seconds to just say or type in anything that they want to. I'm going to start wrapping up the call. I'm really grateful. Thank you so much for all of you for being here. Thank you for those of you that are watching this in the future. Thank you to our translators that are translating this. Thank you to our contributors. Thank you to Amrit and Miracles and Smriti, the Body Whisperers, the Business Whisperers.
Thank you so much for this, for having this.
You're so welcome. And thank you. And yeah, I'm truly grateful. We'll be on Wednesday, the 8th of April, which is 4 days from now, for the business creation call. It's the same time. It's a different link. I've posted it in here, but if you're on my mailing list, you'll get a couple more emails about it as well. If you could spread the word to anyone that would benefit from that, or you can share this recording with anyone that would benefit from it, that would be wonderful. And I can't wait to see you guys soon. Thank you so much. And please look after yourselves, because you are so important to the world. Okay?
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And have a wonderful anniversary today.
Thank you.
I've also missed the anniversary dinner at this point, so I'm a terrible wife, but that's okay. Right.
Bye, Adila.
We're in lockdown for the next 4 weeks, so he's not going anywhere. All right, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.